News is RUM, okay? Another acronym. It has to be relevant, understandable, and memorable. And it sounds really, really, really simple, okay? But it has to be relevant to the publication and to your audience, okay? So if you're sending out news in terms of fashion trends or construction trends, then you're not going to send it to somebody who's interested in tech, okay? Understandable, it's plain English. Tell the story, who, what, where, when, how. Keep it simple. And the other thing they say about news is that it's memorable. We all say, did you hear the news? It's kind of got that factor. It's a memorable news story. Okay, so this was the earlier case study that I spoke about, Border Lives. So we were doing a social media campaign, and we asked people living abroad to tell us their Border Lives story. What is interesting? What's interesting about that? 8,833 views. How does that differ from traditional media? You know, your local newspaper will tell you that the circulation of, you know, Strabane Chronicle or Tyrone Herald is 10,000. Circulation means that that's the number of newspapers that are printed. Is there any guarantee that everybody's going to read a paper? Is there any guarantee that they're actually going to read your article? No. That are stats. Over 8,000 views, 51 people commented. And what did that give us? It gave us sentiment. It actually gave us market research. It gave us, you know, feedback, sentiment, recommendations, actually give us stories. So what is it? It's the two-way conversation, really powerful. 50 people shared it on Facebook. If we all have on average 400 friends, that's a lot of people that it was exposed to. Yeah, you're talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions. 47 people tweeted it, and 21 people actually sent it in an email. So online media will have those stats connected with their online news platforms, and that's why the online PR gets me excited, because I can actually go back, I can track who saw it, I can give stats to the client, and we can build it from there. And remember, later down the story, actually, Border Lives then was hyperlinked. So they hyperlinked Border Lives so that people could then click on Border Lives and bring it straight to their website. Yeah? So it's bringing you traffic. And the people who read that were interested in, one, the border, two, the Troubles, maybe they were diaspora. So we're hitting a completely targeted audience. And that's what your online PR will do for you. Tip 4, content marketing. So it's push, don't pull. Can you engage followers with content that they want to read and share? One of the questions I said at the beginning, if people are going to follow you, they're going to ask, am I credible? Yeah, you've got to prove that you're credible. It's funny with certain groups that I meet, and you know, they might be from one particular profession, and of course they're credible, of course they're experts, and of course they know what they're talking about. But that's not much use if you haven't told Google, you haven't put it on your blog, or you're not social sharing it. You need to prove, so you need to publish your own content. Doing videos on your smartphone. I mean, they said the 6-second Vine is the new 30-second commercial. We've got the attention span lesser than a goldfish, okay, at 7 seconds. So short, snappy videos. We've all got smartphone technology. Yeah, you can even download iMovie if you've got Apple, and it'll top and tail it and edit it on the phone. Okay, there's an app for everything right now. A white paper is just a discussion document, mostly associated with governments, public agencies. Start reading some articles from across the world. What are the trends in China, New Zealand, Australia? Not only will it help you produce good content, but you're also going to get really good ideas. Set up a Google alert. If you want to have a full stream of content coming in that you can read, set up a Google alert for particular keywords. Okay, so you just Google Alerts. You put in a particular keyword, so I would put in digital marketing or social media, and I will ask for articles or blogs to be sent to my email once a day. So that's me creating the content from the web, and it's coming into my inbox. And then the other thing I do is I subscribe to loads of different blogs. Yeah? They are competitor blogs, but the internet's a big place, guys. You know what I mean? You can't have all the business even if you're number one on Google. You couldn't physically do it, so don't get concerned about your competitors. Have a look, educate yourself, inform yourself. If you're stuck for ideas, it's a creative process. Do some searching, do some research, and you're always going to put your own stamp on it. But never take somebody's idea and don't give them the credit for it. Your blog is absolutely vital. A blog can sit on a website. It doesn't have to sit on its own. If you don't have one, you can go to wordpress.com and set up a free blog, but the domain will sit on wordpress.com, so it might be wordpress.com/Joanne Sweeney Burke, okay? But when you maybe mature with it and you get the confidence, you would buy your own domain or your own company name. Ask other people to write a guest blog post. If I'm asked to write one, I'll always write one. It's no problem. Why? Because I'm getting my name on another website and hyperlinking it back. They won't refuse you. Who is an influencer? I asked Laurie to write the foreword for my book and write a chapter, and she went, yeah. And I was like, well, I feel like I should give you a gratuity. Oh, no. People don't want money all the time. Go and find somebody and ask them to write you a guest blog post. It's an action. Do it. Ask somebody. If they refuse you, come back and tell me. We'll try and find out why. But people like to be asked. It's good profile for them. You're going to put them on their blog. You might do a guest blog post once a month and have expert contributors that add value and knowledge, because it's very hard for you always to be coming up with the ideas. Video testimonials are really powerful. If you have 2 or 3 customers, ask them if they will give you 30 seconds on camera that you can put on your website. And I mentioned the ebooks. It's a shortened version of a published book that you might. So I'll do a series of ebooks and after I publish the hard copy book, because they're easier and they're cheaper, and it allows you to keep publishing your knowledge. Infographics. There are infographic templates that you can use, okay? If you don't have graphic design skills in-house, or if you're not a graphic designer, and you can then just put in the figures or some images. The internet loves these because we consume information at an easier rate when it's visual. So we just did an infographic, Border Lives and Numbers. You know, it just told the story in one snapshot. So if you have something that you can recreate into an infographic, then that would be really useful. Video? Anyone use video? Usually what I do is, for my clients, if they invest in radio ads, do you know what I do? I put animation over their radio ads. They're professionally produced and I create a video. Upcycling, it's called upcycling your content. You know, like we upcycle our wardrobe or our furniture. Upcycle your content. Tip 5, in the absence of news, there are 3 ways to make news, okay? It's really exciting. The news hacker, trending stories, and research. Okay, when you're writing for the social web and you're writing your news story, these are some tips that you've got to follow. State a benefit, provoke a question, offer useful information, answer a question, write for your readers. Very good to reward the following. If you've got a loyal following, you should give something back. Consider it charity. Give something back, give some freebies, reward them. Break exclusive news. So this is when there's a trending story on the internet, on the social web, and you have an opportunity to hack that story and come in with your own view in it, okay? Be very, very careful how you do it. You know, the Charlie Hebdo crisis of the last week, it was trending, it was massive, but you would need to be very sensitive if you decided to engage in that conversation. It might have simply been retweeting, you know, the Je suis Charlie hashtag, or using it in one of your tweets and sending condolences and all of that. But you need to be very careful how you do it. What I would say is, try and find something that's in your own niche, in your own area, something that you know that you can talk about. And even if it's a major news incident or a world tragedy, that's fine, but don't get political, because that might isolate a whole audience and potential customers. Because once your tweets and your posts are out there, they're indexed on the search engines forever. Okay, so just think before you post. Okay, so a news hacker example. McAfee, or an online security company, one of the largest in the world, and in 2013 they released a digital divide study, and that was, they did research and asking parents if they knew what their teens were surfing online. So, as you can imagine, the figures were staggering. Most parents don't know what their teens are doing online, so it made for a great news story, and it was widely published across all print, broadcast, and online media. At that stage, I had written and was piloting my Young Minds online course, which teaches teens, tweens, and parents how to use a social web safely. So I went, oh, this is interesting research. This is of interest to me. And I news hacked the story, used the research from the digital divide story, issued my own press release, and again, got some really good online PR coverage that if you're searching for maybe cyberbullying or social media teens and tweens, this news story comes up, which links back to Digital Training Institute and Young Minds Online. Okay, what was my very first tip today? Know your niche, right? So once that came out, I was on it because I was following the news in relation to this, and that's what I expect you to do. You know, you can't be a bystander and an observer in your sector if you want to make a difference and get traction online, which you absolutely can, and you don't need to be a skilled digital marketer, but you need to know your industry, okay? Trending stories. Every day on Twitter, we see what hashtags are trending, what stories are trending. All you have to do is look at any news site and you'll see what's trending. That's a good starting point. So find the trending story and then jump on it. Again, another case study, and again, I'm using the journal.ie because it has huge reach and it's got reach that we can follow. And it's always a debate on how much we drink in Ireland, always a debate. So there were some figures released on Ireland's drink culture and the cost of an A&E visit and how many people die every year and all of this. And I was working with an alcohol charity, and you know, they felt they weren't getting as much PR and as much recognition as they should. So I said that they should actually create Ireland's first Alcohol Awareness Week. And they're like, but why should we do that? And I says, because you should, because nobody else is doing it, and why wouldn't you? And it almost went viral. And in fact, I tweeted it on my way to work one day that we were working on, we, as in my team, were working on Ireland's first Alcohol Awareness Week, and by the time I got to the office, the journal.ie editor had called the office looking for me. She'd seen the tweet on my way into work. And the story then built from there. So we said we were working on it. So it got some coverage to say that we were working on it. Then the week before, saying here are the dates. So it lasted about 6 or 8 weeks. So trending stories. Research. You don't need to interview 1 million people to produce a good bit of research. Yeah? You can interview 50 of your customers, 100. Interview 3 people. I was having this conversation with my academic mentor, and I was like, I only have 4 interviews for my master's. It's rubbish. He says, no. He says, there was a PhD student who based his whole doctorate thesis on 1 interview. Okay? It's the credibility and the quality of the research. But if you can do a bit of research, you know, which can be talking to people, anecdotal or an interview or a questionnaire, that type of information creates really good news.